All right, well, we'll get started here. Let's start with Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey Juan, welcome back. I was curious. You went through the injury last year, and pretty soon after, on social media and otherwise, just the way you would carry yourself, you turned pretty quickly to positivity, like very very fast. I just was wondering how you were drawn to that feeling so fast, and how that sort of pushed you through and being able to return for camp.
So with the ACL injury, it's very stressful, just being completely honest. And then I was just talking to Tyron about the 2 ACL surgeries that he had, and he was like, the main thing is just being positive. So that's like the first thing I wanted to do is just be positive throughout this whole process, because if you're not positive, it's going to slow down your healing process. So I just wanted to stay positive and try to lift up my teammates as they were going through the playoffs. So I didn't want to be that guy to be a cancer in the locker room whenever they heard from me and I was always down. I wanted to just be there to lift them up.
Let's go to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey Juan, welcome back. Couple things real quick. Can you give us a sense of when you think you'll be ready to do some team type activities? And also take us briefly, if you could, through the rehab, just what the emotions were when you maybe first thought, okay, I'm going to make it back, that kind of thing.
I'm not really sure when I'll get full go. I'm just trying to stack good days through individuals, just work through the pain a little bit, and just hopefully I can get back out there soon. But throughout the whole rehab process, Rick and Julie, they did a heck of a job. I came in back from Dallas after my surgery, and we pretty much jumped right into it. We had to get that range of motion, build up the strength. And once we got that, I started to get a little bit more mobile on the field. And I started to feel like it was about time for me to at least get back out there with my teammates and start moving around the individual drills. And if we keep on doing that, hopefully I can get back out there soon.
Let's go to Sam McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Juan. How much do you feel like you're able to do now? And I guess, how do you sort of guard against trying to do too much and staying on the pace that your trainers have set out for you?
See, the thing is, I'm not really thinking too much about just trying to stay on pace. I'm just, while I'm out there, I know that I'm doing individuals. So my mind is strictly just focused on doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm not thinking about the knee. I'm trying to just move as much as I can and work through it, like I said before. But that's pretty much all I've been doing. And hopefully I can get back out there.
Let's go to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Juan. I hope you're doing well, man. My two questions are, what do you feel like you got and gained the most out of the postseason experience, not playing, right, but just seeing the process up close as much as you could, and being, helping the team obviously be in position to obviously have success in the postseason and watching them win the Super Bowl? And then what did you see of yourself on tape last year that once you're fully healthy, you can sort of improve on and sort of show differently based on what you learned in Spagnuolo's defense?
Starting off, I was a little rusty, just being completely honest, just making those rookie mistakes, just giving up plays that I shouldn't be giving up. And I definitely watch every single game, and I could just see myself progressing each game. I got better each game, each week. And that's the biggest thing with me. Just once I get back, just pick up where I left off and don't move backwards, move forwards, and keep getting better and stacking those good days. And me watching, I was in Dallas watching the Tennessee game and Houston game. And I was really happy for my team, but it just made me more determined and more hungry, just because I wasn't being able to play in the playoffs with my teammates. And then definitely when I was at the Super Bowl watching, it was I was so happy, but at the same time, it was eating me alive, just thinking okay, 3 weeks ago, I was healthy. I could have been playing out there with my teammates on that field. This is my dream. I want to play in the Super Bowl. But, I'm definitely happy that my team won, and it just made me more determined for this season to come back and pick up where I left off.
Looks like we've got 4 hands up. We'll go right down the line. Let's start with Harold. Go ahead, Harold.
Hey, Juan, as someone who has torn his ACL myself, I got to tell you, that's pretty commendable for you to come back. I'm just curious during that process, because usually it's about a year before you really feel like you get to that, your true athletic self. What was it like for you? What was the most difficult part for you going through that whole process? I think you mentioned a little bit, Nate, but what's just that most difficult part for you going through the whole process, just medically? And then also, now that you're coming back, what's the most difficult part of you trying to ramp back up to what you feel is your athletic self?
The most difficult part, honestly, was just staying positive, just because of the part that it was you were constantly doing the same thing over and over, and guys tend to just like start to shut down after you do it after a month or 2 months or 3 months. But that was like definitely the hardest part for me, and also just working through that pain. But once I got back on the field, I feel like things just started to get so much better. So I mean, that was pretty much the hardest part for me.
Let's go to Darren Smith. Go ahead, Darren.
Hey, Juan, first of all, good to see you. Couple of questions. One, what was the reception like for your teammates when they saw you back in uniform coming back out there on the field? And then secondly, listen to what you were saying about watching the playoff games from at home and then the Super Bowl. I've kind of compared it to Carson Wentz when he, was the MVP that season and then, had the injury and then watched Nick Foles win the Super Bowl. How do you and other players who are on the IR that get a ring, but of course, like you said, sat there, watched it, but wasn't able to feel like a part of the championship game, but don't know that you factored into the season being to where they are? How does that factor into your motivation coming into this season to try to stay healthy and to make sure that you are, again, a huge part of the team repeating?
So with the teammates, they knew that I was like progressing pretty well, but they wasn't sure exactly when I was going to get back on the field. I kind of kept it to myself. But then like I just randomly like just threw on my shoulder pads and stuff one day, and it was like, oh, they were really shocked that I was coming back out there. But it seemed like they were really excited to see me move. Coach Merritt and Coach Spags, it seemed like they were really excited as well. But I mean, it was a great feeling to be out there. And the thing is, like I said, like with me not being out there, it just made me really hungry. Like I've never felt this hungry before. Like I was really hungry coming into the NFL, but with me not being able to play in the playoffs, like I feel like I let my team down. Like, and I just like, I can't let myself just fall back, because I have to pick up where I left off and take off. And hopefully I can help my teammates get back to the Super Bowl. Hopefully I can play in this last one.
The last two, let's go Steve and then Sarin. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, Juan, welcome back, man.
Yeah, appreciate it.
I know you were going through rehab, but I know you also know that you saw some of the moves that Brett Veach has been able to make as far as getting guys deals. How much confidence does that give you, knowing that as long as you continue to do the right things on the field and off the field, that the organization will take care of you when it's your time?
I'm not really focused on the deals as of right now. I'm just focused on day by day, getting back on the field, pushing myself to become a better player. And then hopefully when that time comes, I mean, something good will happen, but I'm not really focused on that right now.
Let's go to Sarin to close it out. Go ahead, Sarin.
Juan, a couple things here. First of all, you used the word hungry for yourself. And generally speaking, teams that have gone to back-to-back Super Bowls, they turn over 6 to 8 starters. You guys are bringing back, theoretically, all 22, right? Everyone says 20, but Wiley was a starter earlier in the year. You were a starter earlier in the year. That's really the whole everyone back. You're the guy who didn't get a play in it. Do you feel like you're going to have to maybe, drive the guys and be the one that says, hey, I want to be on the field for it. And if anybody lets down, that you're going to be the guy that speaks up for them. And then secondarily, you were talking about, you kind of gave a timeline of how you saw yourself getting better. And maybe being a rookie, that you didn't have time to kind of maybe take in the whole forest, right? Do you remember seeing the defense turn the corner? And when you felt like it was clicking for everybody else, and what it was that kind of got you guys over the hump and in that stretch run in that second half when you were playing so well?
At the beginning of the season, we were trying to learn the defense. Guys were trying to figure out how to play together. We tried to figure out what were guys' strengths and weaknesses. And then like midpoint in that season, we started to click because of the guys started to know the strength. Like, for example, like me playing beside Tyron, I didn't know what he was good at, and I didn't know what he was bad at. But then once we start playing multiple weeks together, we start to get that feel that like, okay, I know that he's going to do this. And we started making more plays because we were confident in what our teammates could do.
And the other part is just about like being hungry, like the team being hungry, right? Like if anybody's a little complacent because you're going to get your ring, but they all were out there. Do you feel like it's going to be your job to maybe crack the whip on some guys?
I've been out there a couple of days watching the team. I don't even feel like there's any guys that's pretty much living on last year. That's last year's last year. This is a new season. So I feel like everyone's still hungry. We're determined to get back. And if there is someone that's maybe falling off or starting to slack off just because we are Super Bowl champions, yes, I will step up because of the fact I see myself as a leader as well, even though this is my second year in the NFL.
Juan, we appreciate the time today. Thank you, sir.
I appreciate you having me.